This will be for the next 3 months. I'm just doing some random stuff here. So May, June, July 2023. This might be, again, it's different timelines for all of you. You're not all making decisions in the same month, the same days, that kind of thing. So take it as it resonates. If it's your read, great. If not, check back. So what I've got here is in terms of your finances, everything looks fairly stable. I see a lot of overwhelm, but I do see a lot of ideas coming through, and I definitely see you making it through quite well over the next few months. So May, June, July does look as though you are going to be kind of slowing it down, or you're being asked to slow things down here. So I'll just pull a couple of the cards here off to the side just for the sake of space. But they are we've got the Nine of Swords as well as Fortitude coming in here, but I'll get back to that here in a second. So what I'm looking at here is main cards out for the next 3 months are Four of Coins, 10 of Batons, in other words, 10 of Wands, King of Swords, you coming through in your reading, Four of Swords, a lot of rest, relaxation, and of course, Justice coming in here too. So there's timing that's sort of at hand also. Eight of Batons, as well as Five of Cups. There's a certain level of disappointment, maybe in some sense of something with communication here, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit further. And of course, we have the King of Cups, so there's some kind of a water sign that may be relevant here as well in terms of finances. And then we also have the Nine of Coins. There is a lucrative situation that you are sort of on the precipice with. So again, it's still sort of wrapping up a cycle. A lot of nines, tens still coming through here. As it was in the previous reads. Some of you, this is wrapping up at different times, but for the most part, you're in the end cycles of things. So we've also got the female Pope next to the King of Swords, and that's around your energy. And of course, Justice, that's you again. So there's a lot of levels of you focusing on you for this period. So again, I'm going to just read the general and then general energy, and then we'll kind of flesh it out a little bit further. So when I get into the Four of Coins, so that is, of course, cards of balance and anything around the fours, and for sure grounding with the coins, the pentacles, is an indicator that you're focused on the money for sure over the next few months. So, but I do feel like things are kind of moving into a very, as I said, lucrative sort of scenario here in terms of your finances. For some of you, you might already be reaping the rewards of this. Others, it's still a little bit further out. But overall, the dynamic is you're pushing ahead in a really dynamic way over the next few months to get something completed, something done for sure. The fact that you've got the Four of Pentacles out here, but again, it moves into the Nine of Pentacles further out. But there's a lot of wands and a lot of big players further out here. This to me indicates that you're moving into a very successful time in your life, and you are just kind of wrapping things up over the next short while here. Like I said, there's some burnout energy here, but at the same token, it's like it's a worthwhile sort of cause is what I would gather. I'm just going to turn my light on here because I think it's getting a little dark. Anyway, when I see the Four of Pentacles, like I said, I mean, that's still someone who's in control of their finances, somebody who's really in control of keeping things balanced, especially over the next 3 months. That's really a priority for you in terms of your finances. You don't want a lot of erratic moves. You're really trying to keep things underway so that you're benefiting from it. So, I mean, the Four of Coins can be some kind of a benefit, either through someone else that's coming through to help as well, to overcome some obstacles, or as I say, because I see sort of an accumulation of the 4 to the 9, there's some cards in between here that do suggest to me that there's going to be still some growth in that area, but I still see that there is water sign here, Pisces, Cancer, and what was the other one here? Sorry, Pisces, Capricorn. Sorry, Pisces, Cancer, and can't think of it. So tired. Anyway, it'll come to me. But either way, I just wanted to say that it looks like there is a water sign that's prevalent here that is going to be helping you in some regard here, because that is a card of donation or something being present that's in terms of finances. Doesn't have to be money, but it can certainly be help in tokens in other ways here. So again, this is just the general energy of it. But it is still an indicator that there is going to be something here further out as well that is kind of moving in the realm of higher knowledge as well. Lot of progression, lot of you pushing through very hard to get something done. When I'm looking at the 10 of batons, I mean, again, that's at an end cycle here. So some kind of creative energy here. There is some sense that there is going to be a lot going into something that is going to be finances for you with that Nine of Pentacles. It's almost as well like this could be some kind of retreat up ahead, or there, I don't see travel at this point in the next 3 months, but I feel like there is a sense of it because of that Four of Swords energy. So, like I said, there is something up ahead here, but right now there's a little bit of a burnout sort of energy between the 10 and the 8 of batons. So, there's quick coming, quick messages, quick information, quick sort of energy. And it's almost like quick, you're exerting a lot of energy to move something ahead, but you're being told to kind of slow it down and balance things out. Timing is the issue here. That's what I would say. And I feel like this disappoints you in some way, that things aren't moving ahead faster than you were hoping, but it's still, timing is a matter that's relevant here for the next 3 months. When we get to the Four of Swords, like I said, that's also a card of retreat, pulling back, sort of withdrawing and doing things in a solitary sort of way. But it's also about, feeling like you need to rebalance and rebuild. Your energy is kind of, I don't want to say plummeting, because I just feel like you're just trying to balance out, how things are going in your life so that you can keep things under your control, really, in some way here. Because the Justice is that card of, and again, I'll go through this a little more in detail, but for the moment, the Justice is still that card of how do you keep things, balanced when you're pushing so hard. And it's almost like that is the struggle for the next 3 months. How not to, life is starting to speed up here for you, is what I would say there. The Knight of Swords is kind of that warrior energy, and I feel like that's kind of the mode that you're in there as well. So I feel like you are a little, maybe a little bit direct again in your communications. I'm still not seeing a lot of Cups energy, and I feel like that's where the Five of Cups over here does kind of indicate that there is something here that's kind of missing here. And I feel like, there's a level of disappointment in a certain area, but it's also a call for change emotionally. You're wanting something to change. Because like I said, there's a lot of putting out so much time, effort, energy, and maybe the reward hasn't looked like it's been coming through here for all of the levels of balance that are required. But you're still in a mastery mode here, because the King of Swords is that card of, I'm in control of my show. This is somebody who really does things does it in a very practical way, a real, analytical mindset. So I feel like you're coming at things from, a place of wisdom. You're not, like I said, your moves are very strategic in this period. So again, there could be, somebody that's giving you legal advice, or it could, be something that is in around a profession that's dealing with writing, for others of you. But either way, I still feel like there is some kind of situation of trying to balance, but also, more importantly, you're getting a lot of upgraded information coming in here over the next 3 months. And I feel like that is information that is to assist you in leveling something up, because I see a lot of your energy is going towards something specific here. It seems very specific. Like I said, it's very directed energy. It doesn't feel like you're just running around like a, chicken with your head cut off, that kind of thing, because the energy speaks to me as very mature energy with the King of Swords. So when we get into, like I say, the female Pope, that is a card of higher energy, but it's also sort of, coming up with great ideas, coming up with sort of revolutionary ideas with the King of Swords. So I feel like you're getting some amazing incoming information and insight that is really, that's why you're pushing ahead so hard. But I feel like you're just feeling the level of burnout here, and that's where the Justice card comes in, and your timing, with the Temperance card next to the Eight of Batons, you really need to watch your timing on things. So, slow it down a little bit here just to keep your balance and not burn your body out. But for sure, there is a call for you to finish something up. That 10 of Batons means you're close to completing something. That cycle is, like I said, coming to a close pretty quick here. And it is still a very positive one because you're in control here throughout the whole of the read. And it's very independent sort of wisdom, as well as being in control of the finances. Like I said, you might be stretching some things a little bit, uh, you know, um, your time. It looks like your time and energy is what you're stretching mostly here. It could be actually the money, I should say, because the 10 of Batons is next to the 9 of Coins. So there might be some aspects of really stretching out the money here as well. But overall, like I said, you're just doing it in such a methodical way. I don't see anything out of control here. And again, like I said, timing is for sure an issue. You're really going to have to rein in your energy levels so that you don't reach high level of burnout. But anyway, because you are being told to kind of slow it down here, like toward the end of, I would say June here, there is a sense of things slowing down a little bit. And maybe the disappointment with the 5 of Cups is an indicator that, something that you had on a certain timeline is just going to be pushed further out. Doesn't necessarily mean you're not attaining it, but can be an indicator that something is a little further out. Okay, so going right back into again, we're talking about just to sort of tie it all in together. So we do have that, the King of Cups next to the 4 of Coins. Like I said, I mean, that's still a card of being a little bit, more emotional about, at least at the start of, kind of May. There is something emotionally that you're maybe a little bit more invested in terms of your grounded, things that provide you security. I feel like you are just trying to maintain some level of control over your emotions is what I would say there. So you're in touch with your emotions, but you're in control of your emotions. There's a pretty good balance around all of that. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There we go. Sorry, it's just some days it's the end of the day. But again, I don't feel like your emotions are in any way, there might be some level of heatedness, but I don't feel like there's any battles or anything like that for the next 3 months. Things look like you're just sort of dealing with things in a very direct way. So there's a lot of energy, like I said, going out, and it's certainly just to watch, be mindful of your health, that kind of thing. But there is definite improvements in your world here, and I feel like you are mastering your emotions for the most part, really in control of things on that level. I feel like a lot of your answers are very close to, something around education, and it's higher education seems to be coming through here. So, a lot of the advice here, I would say, is still speaking to tempering your emotions because, we have cards of balance and control, that kind of thing, very mastery, cards of mastery, King of Swords. So, like I said, these are positions of authority. So these are people that feel like they can accomplish things and be really successful in a particular area. And it does even look like the area that you would be successful in could be in a couple of different areas, really, a few different areas, because not only are you in control of, there's a lot of energy around creativity, a lot of energy around sort of wordplay, maybe books, writing, something like that. But there's also an indicator that you have some kind of, like with the King of Cups, that could be even something spiritual. There could be things here that revolve around psychology, anything along those lines sort of come to mind. But either way, I just feel like you're nourishing yourself on some level, or perhaps a dream here, because the 4 and the 9 of Coins, and with all this energy going behind something here, it feels like there's a particular project that you have in mind here that you're really putting a lot of time, effort, energy into. And following your intuition, very strongly charged in this period over the next 3 months. Okay, so then we went back to King of Swords here. So King of Swords, somebody's not really compromising on anything ethics-wise and in terms of your education. I feel like you've pretty much set in stone the direction that you're going and how you want to achieve something. So it's, again, not emotional attachment so much as it's just in charge or in control of your emotions, and you're really using your intellect to kind of solve any issues that do arise for the next 3 months here. I do feel like it's you unlocking a lot of your potential because, again, this is still, people that are in charge of jobs or positions, higher positions, elevated positions. So I feel like whatever you're moving into, that is what you're looking at, is you're going to be more of an authority in a particular area, with the King of Swords as well as that King of Cups. So a lot of energy of education behind this here as well. Higher education for sure. So you're learning something new to be able to advance this to this level, and it is quickly advancing, even though like it's almost too fast in some ways, that you're being asked to kind of, like I say, watch things in terms of timing, because that's going to be relevant here. So we have, again, the main energies out are, I don't see the major arcana until further out. So again, this is probably going to come into play in around July, August, September sort of time frame. Yeah, so I'll speak to you differently again. Timeline is different, but like I said, regardless, the energy you're in is really trying to make something happen. You're so close to the finish line with a lot of the 9s and 10s that were coming through here. The finances are going to be improving here, just shy of all of this, because that 9 is still coming through with, but right now you're kind of at the 4, so you're just still trying to maintain some level of balance in terms of your finances, but everything is looking completely to your benefit. So what else can I go through there? And actually, like I said, a lot of the big players, a lot of the major arcana are sort of into the further, like into the fall, I would say. And I really think that this is going to make a huge difference in your life. I think something by fall is going to really open up for you. And I feel like you're just falling into place with this energy, because justice is almost like that card of karma in a sense. This is where things are, it's a systems sort of oriented read is what I would say in the fall. Systems you're very strongly connected to. And I do feel like there won't be, I mean, you might be compromising some things here, but for the most part, it's just to balance it out. I don't feel like you're compromising yourself in any way. I just think you're compromising to be able to put this much energy into one particular project means, it might come at a little bit of a cost here on some level. But as I say, for the most part, you do possess a lot of gifts here. This is higher education. This is healing energy here as well. I do feel like there is even a sense of, medical kind of energy with these cards, between the Four of Swords and the King of Cups. And I would say that there's almost a sense of mixing and matching more than one thing. Like it's like you almost have a few things that you're kind of combining here, because there's such strong spirituality, but there's also strong level of creativity and heightened awareness in terms of where you're going as far as your education, that kind of thing. And again, education can be just putting yourself through a lot of YouTube videos and just getting some direction there to open up businesses or otherwise. But there is also, I see, very formal education for someone in particular here. But either way, lots of harmony, lots of balance, lots of energy in that direction. No tower moments, nothing like that for the next 3 months that I see that, is kind of chaining you up. But again, it's general energies. Energies are always transmutable. It's something that is just coming in that you can work with. Doesn't mean it necessarily is, without issue, but it certainly does indicate that you have some level of play, that you can work with creativity and all of this. So like I said, there's a lot of things here that I feel that you can work with over the next 3 months. Okay, so going into the Four of Swords, and again, fours are all about trying to find that balance there as well, but for sure it is, retreat mode. And I think that you do need to sort of slow it down toward the end of the month, because you're almost at a point of, it's actually at the beginning of the May sort of period where I feel like you're on a little bit of burnout. But then you kind of start to slow it down as the course of the few months opens up here. So Four of Swords, like I said, still in that place of trying to isolate or pull back and kind of struggle to maintain some faith, or, just maintaining some level of rest and recuperation. That kind of thing is really what those cards speak to. But either way, I mean, it's still, even on your activities may look as though they're stalling here a little bit, but you are being called to slow it down a little bit here too. So again, just take that time to sort of toward, May, June, to sort of advance yourself in a different way, putting more energy into you, because again, you're putting out a little bit too much in the physical, versus not emotional, but physical is what I would say here. There is, again, a lot of energy where you need to slow it down because there is reading and studying or educating yourself. And that could be why the energy it's required. You have to slow it down to be able to absorb what you're taking in. So that may be where it's kind of where this card is coming in here, because it is required for you to and able to absorb anything, and educate yourself and kind of move something into a particular focus. You really do have to, put yourself into a place of retreat, so that you can kind of restore, but also focus your energies so that you actually have some capability to kind of spring forward again. But either way, I do feel like you are kind of keeping to I don't want to say keeping entirely to yourself, but it does seem like very self-oriented cards for the next 3 months. And it's not escapism or anything like that. It's really focused energy, I would say. And I don't see a lot of struggles other than just energy that you're putting out. So, if you're, whatever you do to, boost your immunity, taking vitamins or otherwise, that's kind of where I feel that would be something wise to do over the next few months, just because it'll help you to sort of push through some of this energy here. Eight of Wands, like I said, that can be fast coming in communication, that kind of thing. But I do feel like this is where the timing aspect seems to be relevant, that you're supposed to sort of slow things down and temper out the emotion might be starting to come into play here because of that Five of Cups. There might be something here that, where you're starting to overreact a little bit toward the end of June. But either way, it's a level of change that has to take place within you, emotionally, is what I would say there. So emotionally, you have to kind of work through some level of a setback anyway, and it is impacting you on an emotional level. So like I said, maybe this is a disappointment about something that you wanted to, you had a timeline for and it didn't quite meet that timeline. But either way, it's some kind of salvageable emotional loss or setback. So again, it's something that you can still work toward. There's an event that you can still push through. So again, I mean, you might be sort of harboring some kind of negative mindset here as well, with the Queen of Swords next to that Five of Cups. So that is something just to consider, that you want to try to resolve your problems in a way that is going to seed some more hope so you can keep going. But it is still, again, just in that place of emotionally kind of, I don't want to say end of something, but it feels like you're struggling with something that is in your energy anyway, within yourself, not outside of yourself. Feels like it's within yourself. Okay, and again, what else haven't I gone through? So I guess we could go through the Justice card. Again, this is still a little further out. I don't feel like this is energy that you're confronted with specifically, but it might be just the beginning of that energy that you're sort of exposed to with the Four of Swords. And again, it still feels like there's some level of, balance and health and that kind of thing that's being noted here. The focus is still for sure on higher education, something along that line, but it is also still preparing to do something. Could even be in around contracts. Could even be contracts for sure, with all these cards, major arcana next to this. And it feels like there's some progress in a particular area, but there's a lot of paperwork involved. I would say there's a lot of paperwork involved in rebalancing something here. So again, I feel like there's, you're very strongly involved in this month, you focusing on you, that kind of thing. But it is still the energy of a lot of paperwork, a lot of issues around prioritizing things, a lot of institutional energy, dealing with hierarchical sort of community kind of aspects. Maybe not community is not the right word, but definitely dealing with bigger corporations or bigger structures, something that is very much in line with, organized business or something along that line. But it's emphasizing that you have a pretty clear picture of how you're moving forward and what you're looking at. I don't feel like there's confusion. I feel like you really have a handle of what's going on. And again, it's all about balance, balance, balance. This is everything that's coming through. But again, there's a little bit of disappointment of a setback toward the, June sort of period. And maybe it's because you were thinking about holiday, even though I don't specifically see holiday here. But either way, after June, I guess we'll know what that setback was. But lot of order over the period of May and June that's coming through here. So like I said, I feel like you are collecting you're moving towards something in a really hasty sort of way. Like it in terms of finances, this is really pushing forward to make something happen. So the finances look like they'll be further out. I don't see anything coming in the next 3 months that is, really standing out to me, but it definitely speaks to money that is coming from very big sources, higher education, very balanced institutional energy, something that is probably going to involve, not just you, but involving corporations or, something that where there's big decisions will be made around this kind of energy, like I said. And I mean, even if we were talking about, a balanced partnership of some sort, that still speaks to me as that as well. That for some of you, if you're in a partnership, I feel like there's some pretty good balance here, and the types of people that would be involved here are very straightforward. Deal with things in sort of that matter of fact kind of way. But again, it's rearranging all of the things that need to be prioritized. It's, really emphasizing, what's the next thing to get done, formally, moving in the direction of that decision and really considering all factors. You're really taking a hard look at things and you're really wanting to get something finished here. So that's what I have for the next 3 months, just a general overview. But like I said, I feel like you are pushing very hard to achieve something. And I feel like you just have to watch your energy. But again, a little bit of a setback toward that end. But it definitely looks like there's some contractual energy here for sure. And it definitely is progression. And it's definitely higher education, institutional here on some level. But it's a very good monetary path. Like I said, you might be feeling a little more, self motivated. Everything's on you in the next 3 months. But overall, the gain is going to be there because the Nine of Coins as well as the Four of Coins, those are really good cards, really good money cards. Like I said, they all speak to balance. And again, anything that's in around balance and also in around grounded energy doesn't get much better than that. I mean, that's very solid movements, So anyway, again, even with the Four of Pentacles, it's a really strong financial base. So I feel like you're just very methodical in the way you're laying things out over the next 3 months. And as I said, I feel like you're just opening yourself up to new ideas. There's some really amazing, good ideas coming through in this next few months. So if you are looking for a job, I don't necessarily see it happening here in the next 3 months, but you're really putting in the effort, time and effort, if that's the case. And again, I mean, just overall in finances, I just feel like feels like you have a lot at stake. It doesn't feel like anything's out of your control necessarily, but it does feel like you're in a place of, like I said, it's just really strong energy of, just, I don't know how do I put that. Like, it's just, you've got a real responsible attitude is what I would say, really responsible mindset. And again, a real willingness to learn here and upgrade yourself. You're really putting in that time and effort to make something happen. So it's a long-term energy here with these big players here with the Temperance and the Justice further out, as well as the female Pope. These are really have faith, sort of committed kind of energy. But it's advanced knowledge and expertise. So whoever this speaks to, this is a big journey for you, and it's one that is going to pay you back with a pretty substantial coin with the Nine of Pentacles. So that's a lot of self-reliance, and it's very independent energy. And it definitely speaks to, financial security, but again, very grounded, self-reliant energy. And it for sure speaks to, deepening your level of resources, deepening your knowledge, all of those things here. Vast improvement. You're undergoing some big changes either way. So that's what I have for you, and that'll be for, again, the next 3 months in terms of your finances. So Libra, I'll do some more other reads further out, but for the moment, that's what I've got for you, and keep moving forward and never give up.